Hey, welcome into This is MLS Legends. Delighted you are with us. Get your comments, questions in on the chat. We've got a very special guest today. 19 goals, 19 assists for San Diego in expansion season. Anders Dreyer joining us on the show a little bit later on. But for now, I'm welcoming in the two lads that are joining me right now. Sacha Kljestan, Bradley Wright-Phillips. Fellas, 8.5 hours on air the other day. Decision day. Bradley, it was bonkers. It was beautiful. Messi wrapped up the Golden Boot and MVP in a brilliant campaign. And we saw some teams drop into the wildcard positions and some teams dumped out.
Yeah, great day. Great day. You know, when the first day of the season comes, kids, we're talking about decision day. After you see the results during the season, you're like wondering what it would look like. It didn't disappoint. It was amazing, especially that Vancouver-Dallas game was crazy. That's the one that made it for me that night.
Now it sets up a rematch, Brad. First round of the playoffs, these two teams. Vancouver should be the heavy favorite, but man, does Dallas have some confidence now going back there? They'll have Farrington and Musa back into the lineup. It should be a good playoff. So, listen, I'm the biggest supporters shield truther there is out there. I think it's the best trophy in MLS that rewards the best team over the regular season. But man, do I love the playoffs too. So it just becomes make or break. It becomes do or die. Who's going to step up? Who becomes a superstar in MLS? It's a lovely time of year.
One of my favorite moments, guys, was watching San Diego realize their dream of finishing number one seed, right? So how has that changed for you guys? We're all 40 years of age, right? We're the same age, us three.
Thanks, Kev.
So yeah, you're welcome, pal. You're welcome. How was that for you guys back in the day in these moments where you're trying to figure out, has another team won? Like, because these guys have the Apple TV live on a cell phone with good service, right? This is a new phenomenon.
Back in our day, Kev, there'll be a dude in the stands with a radio, and he's like, he's tuning it, right?
Big hanger.
And then he will shout to you, yeah, you've won, or you need a goal or something like that. You know what I mean? Nowadays, Apple, even when I first came here, Sash, you'll know this, I couldn't even see a goal I scored, Kev, after a game for so long. I'll be searching everywhere on my phone. Where can I see this goal I scored? Where can I see the other results? Now these guys are on the pitch, like you said, getting full coverage. Amazing. But that must be an amazing way to see it.
Even think of Aguero's goal for Manchester City, right? And the images of people in the stands back in the day, like someone on their phone being like,
yeah,
it's over. And then the whole crowd would erupt, or false information getting out there. Now with Apple TV on a phone, it's made easy, Sash.
Yeah, people are dialed in at all times, right? Even friends that I still have in Europe from when I played for Anderlecht, like during the early windows when we have some early games, they're able to watch the games and then see all the highlights and everything. It's this new deal, I think, has been special for everybody. It's been awesome to see.
Yeah. What else stood out for you, Sash, on a bonkers decision day?
Messi brilliance once again. It's hard not to talk about the way he performs in the biggest moments. I think we're all joking if we think that he doesn't care about being the MVP and being the Golden Boot, and that this guy just puts on performances week after week. 3 goals and an assist. He becomes one goal contribution shy of Carlos Vela, which is unanimously known as the best individual season in MLS history, and he almost got there. Honestly,
he played less than 300 minutes fewer, or more than 300 minutes fewer than Vela did. Man.
It's unbelievable. You know what other result was good, which was important? That Columbus result against Red Bull.
Yeah. Because
that's a team that's been struggling, stumbling into the playoffs. And they needed a big result to get some momentum. And then you think about who they're playing, Cincy. What a matchup we got there, Kev.
It all went downhill for Phil Neville after he came on the show, didn't it?
He
came on the show saying that Apple TV need new pundits. I'm only messing, Phil, but it was a brutal night for Portland. I mean, talk about backing into the playoffs right now, unfortunately.
Kev, they gave up, for the first time in their history, they gave up more goals at Providence Park than they scored this season.
Whoa, when you say it like that,
that's wild.
41 goals scored in 34 games.
Look at how many attacking players they have on that team that are some quality players, right? And they just haven't found a way to make it click. I'm worried for them. And just think about last year in the wild card game, they lost 5-0 at home.
Yeah.
And now they're playing Salt Lake. I don't think it's going to be 5-0, but man, do they have some skeletons in their closet that they are going to try to get out in this game. It's not looking good for.
That's a staggering stat, Sash. I remember going to Portland. You had to do everything to get a goal there. You had to really be locked in to get any kind of result in Portland. To hear that You know, they've conceded more than they've scored is a crazy stat to me.
To defend Phil Neville here, like he's given Kelsey and Mora lots of opportunities. They've both played over 16 games this season. They're not producing at a level that they should. None of them have taken that opportunity.
Yeah, but you can't.
Sometimes we look at the teams. What do you mean we can't?
Because they're getting rotated in and out. If you're a number 9 or striker, any forward player, you need.
So how long is he supposed to give them? How long is the leash?
You need a run in the team, or he's got to choose one. You need a run. I've been there. When you play in teams and you think you're coming off after 60 minutes, or if you don't score, you're out the team. You can't build any confidence. It is nothing worse than being a striker that has to score. Scoring is what your job is, but knowing that you have to, otherwise you're sitting, is not a good place to be. And maybe that's how those two strikers feel.
I agree with Bradley. And I'll pose the question to you two. Who is the better striker? Who starts in the playoffs? Does he even know?
Yeah.
Does anybody know at this point? Because not one of them stood out above the other.
No. But in the playoffs where you're going to need, I think I would go with Kelsey. I think Mora's a bit more difficult to deal with, but I don't see them having the majority of the ball. Kelsey can hold it up. He can hold the ball up, get the team up the pitch. I would maybe go with Kelsey.
And Mora is a better link. He's a better technical footballer for me. He's a better link player. We saw a great assist for Velda recently. But this is a weird thing with the Portland. Like, who's the best striker in the history of the Portland Timbers in Major League Soccer? Is it Fernando Adi?
Fernando Adi's got.
Are we really saying that? Because that's pretty awful. If that Fernando Adi was good. I'm not saying he was awful. But if that's your best striker. Yeah. Like Diego Valeri got this team over the line in so many big moments and created and finished some major moments. Fernando Adi being your best striker potentially in club history, we thought that might have been Jonathan Rodriguez. We talked a little bit about that early last season. Not to be. Sash, I mean, they need a 9.
They've needed a 9 for 15 years, Kev. There's also the crazy stat that no player on the Portland Timbers has ever scored a hat trick. How is that possible? How is that possible? Because your best player of all time have always been attacking midfielders, right? Yeah. And it was Diego Valeri for the longest time. Sebastian Blanco had a really good run in there.
Yeah.
Like, they need a number 9 that is like, that you can depend on, right? Yeah. That you just know is your guy that's going to get you 15 to 20 goals per season. They've never really had that.
But they have had special 10s. I mean, even Blanco over the years has been special. Evander was unbelievable. Like, they scored 65 goals last year. They scored 41 this year. I think that tells you everything about Evander's exit from the club, because the cost has been good, but he hasn't been anywhere close to Evander.
Yeah,
right,
they've lost a big amount of goal contributions there. You like David Costa. He plays the game the right way. He's nice to watch. But you know how football is nowadays. You're going to have to do something in the final third. And that's what he has to improve on through these playoffs. And next season, Kev, if he's going to want to be put in the same list as those guys you just mentioned.
Look, I like Finn Sermon. He's someone that we've talked about on the show as well, that they've brought in. We even named the pizza after him, in studio.
I didn't know what you're talking about there. The pizza, I was like, I love Finn Sermon.
The Finn Sermon Pep Guardiola is our go-to thin slice pizza.
Explain why.
Well, we talked about it before. I mean, when Brad, you say, when I say thin, I say tin. Because of my thick Irish accent. You say it, go on.
I say Finn, F-I-N.
So we call it the Finn Sermon. It's the thin sliced pizza with the pepperonis, the Pep Guardiola. So our floor manager, this lady Dara, who's lovely, but she hasn't got a Scooby-Doo about football, and she definitely won't be watching this show. So I'm going to tell this. I say to her every week, any chance at all of the Finn Sermon Pep Guardiola? And she goes out and tries to relay this message. We're all dying laughing.
Oh, she gets so flustered. She has no idea what we're talking about.
It's the Finn Sermon Pep Guardiola, please.
Well, back to Finn Sermon. He was a good addition. Yeah. Was that where you were going, Kev?
I'm just looking for positives, because over the years you've talked about big players for the Portland Timbers. Like, Nat Borchers was a big player. Liam Ridgewell was a big player. There's been so many. Diego Chara is a legend at the club. So they've had defensive stability over the years while having the Valeries and maybe not so much last year defensively. This year they're better defensively.
Yeah.
But definitely going forward, it's an issue, and I'd love to see them score more goals. Hey, big news, by the way. Wow. This Friday, breaking news here on the show on This Is MLS. This Friday, fresh off is playing his final game as a professional footballer. Bradley Edwin Guzan is going to join us in studio.
Great name, great haircut. I can't wait. Get him in.
I got two bald Brads gonna be sitting next to me.
That needs to be a segment. You could get a sponsorship for that.
Yeah. But we should have an argument about like a 1v1 or something, 101 in there. Yeah, I like that segment.
No, like brought to you by Gillette or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I like
two bald Brads.
That's going to be
How
awesome.
do you think Goose is going to do in studio, Sash?
Goose is great. Listen, we got to interview him Saturday night before his final game, and he just has such a great personality and has such a great voice for the game, and has obviously had so many immense experiences in world football. And so I think he's going to bring a plethora of knowledge to the game. Plus, he knocked out Messi from the playoffs last year, so he's going to give us some insight into how Nashville is going to match up against this Inter Miami squad. I think it's going to be awesome. But I'm excited for him to just welcome to the real world, right? Like, we've all had these moments where we retire and now we go do something else. Somebody has held our hand pretty much for 20 years through our soccer careers to, here's your plane ticket. You have health insurance. Go see this doctor. You don't have to wait in the waiting room. Go straight into the dentist. Everything is taken care of. You need a driver's license. We'll take you to the DMV. We'll take care of it. Now he's in the real world. I can't wait to see this, Brad Guzan.
But he's savvy. Brad's savvy when it comes to this. So if you can tell, like, some of you former players are absolute dopes. Like, you're just so selfish. The way some of you speak when you go into a broadcast booth after playing, like, watching the adjustment of someone that's just come off the field is actually kind of cringe, considering some of you are nearly 40 years of age.
Name names one. Name names after this, though.
No,
you try coming out of a locker room where you're literally like playing basketball with the boxer shorts you just wore into. Everyone's looking after us. So when you come out and they're like, to get paid here, you have to send this invoice in.
Brad used to take his underwear and just throw them at the kit man and be like, pick them up and wash them.
You're a liar, bro.
And then
you're a liar.
The kit man asked us specifically, just turn your socks right side out, right? Brad would put them inside out on purpose.
Fake lies.
That's pathetic, man. That is so disrespectful.
This is so fake. Kev, don't do this. Don't buy into it. You know what this guy's like. That never happened. Hey, chat, don't listen to Sacha. He's a liar.
Oh, I've got a great... Okay, I was just joking. Brad didn't do that, but I have a great story from when I retired. I retired on January 5th.
Yeah.
On January 15th, I went to the dermatologist to get my, biannual checkup for my skin. And I do my thing. They check me out. I go to check out and they're like, your health insurance lapsed. And I was like, no, I've always had health insurance. Must be a mistake on your end. And they're like, did you change? Yeah, the arrogance. Did you change jobs recently? And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have a job. Maybe I don't have health insurance. And then, like, to go out and try to get health insurance for my family, for a family of 4.
Hey, man,
expensive. Wow. Like, welcome to the real world, Sash. Yes. Like, no one's holding your hand anymore. That was my welcome.
And that's scary because you're a pretty organized guy. You're really on top of those things. So now put me in your shoes. It's a mess. We're not even going to go there. We don't have enough time.
Can you imagine if Bradley had to travel every week? Like, folks, we travel. I live in Atlanta. Sash is in LA. Dax is in Orlando. Dax is a nightmare. Like, Dax for the first few months traveling with him.
Yeah, crazy.
This guy would be about 3 hours early for the flight, right? I show up about a half an hour. If I show up 15 minutes before the doors close, that's loads of time because I'm happy to be the last one. That would stress me out a bit. But he would stress like you wouldn't believe. And oftentimes I felt like Delta were messing with him at some point because they wouldn't give him a seat assignment. So it would say check at gate. Oh, every time. I love
Delta. I love Delta.
Will they have a seat for me? I was like, I can't do this. And then you travel with Ozzy Alonso, who's the most relaxed human being of all time. Like there could be an earthquake, and Ozzy would be like, it's fine.
See, hey Kev, I'm a bit of Dax and I'm a bit of Ozzy. I'm one of those people. I'll get there early, but I'll be at the wrong concourse. Yesterday I went to Columbus, so quickly I went to Columbus to talk to Darlington. I went to see the GOAT. I get to the airport early. I'm lining up for. You know me, Sash. I don't have that TSA staff that. I'm lazy. I wait half an hour in line, get through to get some food. I'm chilling. I see my flight's boarded in 12 minutes. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll walk over there. I realize I'm in B. Why did they let me through? So I had to go out of this, go and line up again at B. I had to beg someone to let me through quick. Finally,
go through security again. Wow. This is not surprising, though, Kev, because remember in January, we went on our lads trip to Europe.
Yeah, you had to book his tickets.
I had to book Bradley's train, Bradley's flights. Then we're in London on a what was it, a Wednesday night. We're watching Arsenal play. The next morning, Kev, you and I are flying home at 10 a.m. I said, Brad, what time's your flight tomorrow? I don't know. I haven't booked it yet. You haven't booked it yet?
It will be okay. It will be all right.
The flight's in 12 hours. You haven't booked it yet.
I'm here, ain't I? I made it, didn't I?
Yeah, you made it. I just couldn't live my life
Against all odds, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like no one out there thought you were going to make it.
How you getting to the airport? I don't know.
Hey, and you'll be doing the same this year.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Hey, speaking of Brad Guzan, guys, Ronnie Dyla, gone from Atlanta United. They've made that decision. They've parted ways. They've moved on. All the rumors are floating around now. And a big one is Tata Martino. There's been other names thrown into the mix too. Where's your head at with Atlanta at a time when there's 8 World Cup games in the city of Atlanta next year? The fan base has been largely lost in recent years. You look at the crowds that have been showing up for the team this season, nowhere near the days of 17, 18, and 19. And there's a fan base there that can be reignited. With the right coach, the right players. And I know there's so many brilliant people within the club that are desperate to make that happen and doing all they can. Who's the right fit for Atlanta United for you guys?
Sash, you go.
Well, I don't know. I don't have a person in mind as to who is the right fit, Kev. It's just got to be somebody who, one, gets the players to believe, gets them to play just some style of soccer that the fans can be proud of.
That's the right fit.
Listen, Tata's a good coach. I think you put Tata anywhere in Major League Soccer and he's going to be successful. I think there are certain coaches that have drive, have hunger, have knowledge, have experience that you put them into a situation, they will make the most of it. It's not easy for it's not easy for coaches to go back to a place similar to how Miguel Almiron has gone back to Atlanta, and the expectations are be exactly what you were 5 years ago. It's sometimes not possible, right?
And everyone thought Almiron would be a huge success again, right?
Apart from Sash,
I'm waiting for him.
But he called it. But you know why I like Tata? Because, okay, let's say they start the season next year. It doesn't start well. He's done enough in his past that he will get time. He'll get time to figure it out. He will have the respect. He's won there. So I think while we expect like a immediate change, I think if you bring him in, give him a little bit more time, I think you'll start to see them improve. A coach like him would do well back in Atlanta.
But this is Major League Soccer where you get a bit more time. Like you see,
look at Ronnie Dyla.
Ange Postecoglou was sent packing after what? 7 games?
39 days.
In a season. Whereas Ronnie Dyla was given the entire year. And Arthur Blank is generous in that sense.
Yeah.
Wants to give his coaches time to succeed when it clearly wasn't working. So I think you're right with someone like Tata.
The fans are not going to turn on him, Kev. They're not going to turn on Tata as quick. They'll still show up as long as they can see a difference in that side.
This is the beauty of MLS, though, when we talked about this on the weekend on Decision Day, is that when you come into the season, every team has the belief and the excitement that they have a chance to win MLS Cup. So look at Philly last year, didn't make the playoffs. Look at Galaxy the year before, didn't make the playoffs. The last 3 MLS Cup teams didn't make the playoffs. So there should be some excitement, but it is a restart, right? Like, this is probably the most pivotal moment in Atlanta United history since their inception, right? Like, they got it right the first time around with Tata and all those players they signed to open their inaugural season. Now they have to look at it the same way. This is a restart right now for this club. Can you go out and get a few good players, find the right coach, build the right chemistry? You live there, Kev. You could tell it better than us, but the place looks like it just wants to explode again. At the beginning of the season, right? How fun was it on opening night? Latte Loth scoring 2 goals at the Benz. How loud was it? Like, that was amazing. It all went downhill after that, but you could see that there was something there.
100%.
It was a genuine belief that 50 million spend over the past few transfer windows on an attack was the right move. You know, you sold a lot of guys, Almada, Caleb Wiley, and many others to bring in that money. I just think, and the more I'm part of this game, even from a broadcasting standpoint, the culture and managing people, but the culture within an organization is far more important than tactics, far more important than the game of football. If you cannot set the right culture where people feel empowered to be themselves, where people genuinely thrive within an environment that's welcoming and in an environment that is conducive to people walking into the building and wanting to be there. We work in a place right now, and I mean this sincerely when I say this, folks. I love going to work with you lads. Yeah. I love it because none of us have an ego that we bring in and get in the way of everybody else, right? We genuinely go in and care for each other, and we want to succeed and make our shows as fun as possible, and also just enjoy the day. I'm listening to a podcast at the moment with Jurgen Klopp, and it's a 2.5-hour podcast. And he talks so much about this, and he talks about the moment that Manchester United approached him when he was at Borussia Dortmund. And he talked about Manchester United, the way it was set up. And he didn't diss Man United, but he just said, it wasn't the project for me. And I could feel over an audio podcast what he meant by that and how Liverpool was the right fit in the right time for him. And this is sometimes where I think the game is lost on fans when fans just look at something, well, you should be playing a 3-4-3, should be doing this, should be doing. There's so much more to this, isn't there?
Yeah.
You guys have been there, you've lived it.
Kev, I'd argue that fans are not like, he should be doing this formation. I'd argue that they just want to see you give 100%. Sash, if there's one thing Jesse done well at Red Bull, we had to turn up. We were all in, and that means giving 100%, like being a good teammate. It was about the person first. So when you talk about the culture, so every day we turn up to training, you have to be a good professional, a good person, and give 100%. And that's the foundation. Yeah. Then after that, we can talk about football. We can talk about your scoring ability. We can talk about your talent. But in the beginning, you have to compete. Yeah. Whether you're sick that morning, turn up. Your job is to this many hours, get it done, and then after we talk about the rest. And I think when you talk about culture, when I watch Atlanta, I don't see them compete enough, and not just them. We can throw DC in there.
But Brad, there's a bigger picture here, and I honestly believe that whether is it Tim Parker's from the New York area. Why is the name blanking me right now? The goalkeeper,
Sean Nealis, Carlos Coronet. When are you talking about
that you guys played with?
Luis Robles.
No, not Luis.
Brian Mira.
Yeah, Mira. Like I'm trying to think of Christian Roldan, Alex Roldan, Obed Vargas.
Great example.
Understands the fabric of the club. Okay, Brian Schmetzer is Seattle through and through. Yeah. You cannot lose the fabric and the feeling of what it represents or what it means to represent your city and your club. You can never lose that. And when that gets lost, the soul of a club is gone. And I just think so many times I see clubs today lose good young homegrown players that don't cost an awful lot of money, and in favor of maybe players that have had 6-7 loan spells throughout their career, and you look at their Wikipedia page and you're thinking, wow, what are the odds on this being a success? Versus someone who understands the city and understands the club and has come through the youth ranks and would absolutely break a leg out there on the field for you if needed to be. I just that part to me is lost as a broadcaster looking in from afar, and maybe the nuance is something I don't see. And Sash, maybe that's just simply the case. But it's frustrating, I think, when you see the success of a Seattle and you understand that Paul Rothrock would do anything for the city of Seattle, right? And you don't see that with other clubs, and you see guys that are signed and you're thinking, well, they'll be gone in a year. This doesn't mean anything to them.
There's a combination to all of those things that encapsulate what makes a good club, right, Kevin? So it's not just the culture of the team. There is also tactics, and there is personnel. Right? Like some teams, some players just aren't good enough. Some coaches tactically just aren't good enough. The best can marry all of those into the club. Winning helps, obviously. Winning helps build culture because you actually start to believe in everything. But, going back to what Jesse did at Red Bulls, we had like once every 2 months or so, we would all go to the stadium and Jesse would lead a meeting with every employee of the club. And so we were not to make sure that we were all on the same page, right? That the players were not above the employees of the club. That he made sure that we knew the janitor's name and the people who served us food in the training ground, and that they were part of the all-in family. Yeah. That if we were all going to show up and work hard, that even they needed to show up and work hard and do their job to the best of their ability, and that we were all one family. That built a culture, right? And so, yes, there are different ways to doing it, Kev. You got to marry all of them all together to be the best version of yourself.
But what about the importance of understanding what it means to represent a city?
That's also that's part of it. That has to be part of it as well. And you need people like Brad Guzan, who is not from Atlanta, but is now he is Atlanta.
Did you see his speech, his final speech? This is exactly what he talked about. He talked about what it meant to represent the crest, the city, those fans. They will come out and support you if you love them back. Yeah. And this is not, rocket science. This is just world-class basics, correct?
You just got to look at the Union. They seem like they've done that very well. It's no different.
But the Union have young homegrowns coming through that understand how to play the Philly way. Like there's great examples in Major League Soccer right now of well-oiled machines that you know how they're going to play, you know how they're going to approach the entire season, not just the first team. It trickles down. And then there's great examples of dysfunction where you're thinking, where is this going wrong? You know, is their egos getting in the way? Are the right young players being selected or given the confidence to come through? It's a fascinating discussion right now, not just in Major League Soccer. I think it's in every single league. Manchester United being a great example when you compare it to Liverpool, and Klopp, say, choosing to go to Liverpool after already rejecting Manchester United, which proved to be a great decision.
Facts. Don't go to Man United now, man. It's not a Premier League. It's not a Premier League show, so we won't go there. But man,
hey, quick one.
And you like the Prem? Let's talk about Arsenal if we're going to talk about anything.
All right, moving on, Sacha. How much pressure do you feel is on Inter Miami to deliver now? And those players maybe feeling that pressure, given what played out last year, and this being the last dance for Busquets and Alba for sure. And we don't know the stance of Luis Suarez.
I think it's the same pressure that Messi has faced every year of his club career since he probably turned 21, right?
It's different, Sash. It's got to be different.
In which way?
It's different because his best pals that he's played with his entire career almost, Busquets and Alba, are going to wrap it all up and leave the game forever. It's different. It's got to feel different. You've got to get over the line for those guys. He doesn't want the final game for Busquets and Alba to be elimination against Mukhtar and Surich in round 1 of the MLS Cup playoffs.
Yeah.
It's different.
Okay.
When we should be scared. Then we should be scared.
Feeling something a little bit.
There's going to be more motivation.
To get over the line is bound to be there.
I don't think it will be desperation. I think it will be a motivation. And Messi, Busquets, Alba, Suarez with motivation could be a scary sight, Kev, because those guys wanting to win and send their friends off in the best possible way, we should see high-level football. But if you want me to be a little bit negative about that, you can do what you want in the final third. I still don't trust that team defensively. So Messi is going to have to play out of his skin, which he has this season, and he's going to need a little luck back in the defensive part of the game.
I think watching their performances in the Club World Cup is giving me some confidence in this group, right?
They were a lot better. You're right.
In the big games, they defended better. They played more as a team.
Big gang.
And last season, getting knocked out in the first round to Atlanta should also give them a little bit of like, okay, maybe we underestimated Atlanta a little bit. You know, maybe we didn't think it was possible that this number 9 seed was going to come in and give us a tough game. And now I think we get the better version of Inter Miami, a more focused version, a more determined version. I think Miami is still one of the favorites, top 3 favorite to win the MLS Cup.
Does it help Nashville or hinder Nashville that they were devoured in the second half on decision day by Miami?
It should help them. I think if you're BJ Callahan, you go back to that training ground. You remember the beginning of that game. Nashville should have had
the whole first half, Brad.
Was it the first half, right? They could have had 2 or 3 goals. And if I'm 4, so if I'm in that locker room, exactly, okay, but that's a positive. If I go back into that locker room or back to the training ground and you just go over some of those plays and what made you good, what they struggled with, and just execute that on a higher level, you should go into that game with no fear. Also, losing to a team like that, you're going to come back. You have to be alert. You have to be ready to go. So the game will definitely not look like how it did on the weekend. Miami got to be ready for what Nashville bring, because anytime you lose like that, you can only get better.
What do you think, Sash? You picking them to go through this one?
I think Miami gets through. Yeah. I think Nashville's had a fantastic season. You know, obviously led by some very good individual play, great team play as well. And they won a trophy. This has been a successful year. Not a great end to the season. And I think it's difficult against Inter Miami. I think Inter Miami wins this one.
So earlier on today, Michelle Kaufman down in Miami, a wonderful journalist, reported that Lionel Messi was absent from Miami training. Now, the follow-up report, which we're getting through here, is that Messi missed training due to a minor back discomfort, expected to be back on the field tomorrow. So that's interesting, one to keep an eye on. You mentioned...
if Messi went out and had a burger, it would make the news, dude. Him missing a training means nothing to me, unless
also,
like 2 or 3 days in a row.
Of course, and Sacha, also, he's been carrying teams for his whole life. Of course, his back's going to hurt. Yeah.
I feel you, Messi. This is me in the studio every weekend.
Would you
I
stop?
leave and my back hurts from carrying the show.
Oh my God, you hear this guy? Are you buying into the reports that Neymar might be Miami bound, Brad?
I would
I buy
love
into it because I love it. Like Sash, yes.
Really?
I don't care if it's true or not right now. I like it. So I buy into it. Neymar, come over here. Come over here. We see what Son done. Muller, Messi, all these guys. We need guys like this. If he's going to come with the right mindset, that's the only thing I would say.
But Messi would hold him accountable.
That's what I think also.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think Neymar comes to Miami and showboats and does BS because Messi won't have it. And let's not forget that when these guys played together, it was at the peak of their careers, right? Neymar probably deserved to win a Ballon d'Or at some point in there, if it weren't for Messi and him always scoring and assisting like a little bit more. But man, when they won that Champions League, Neymar was up there like 1A, 1B with Messi and how important he was and how good he was.
Suarez was as good too.
Yeah.
It was a joke of a team. I actually had the honor of covering El Clasico on the sideline for many different matches between MSN and BBC. And to be there on the sideline, just watching these guys and watching the constant scanning of Messi, or actually in terms of the physical attributes, the one player that really did impress me the most when I was at the Camp Nou in a great game, Real Madrid won on the road, was Gareth Bale. It was like a thoroughbred racehorse, just seeing him take off. And I was actually the closest seat to Zinedine Zidane for a Clasico, and I was the last of the TV reporters in line, and next up was the bench. And to be that close and to see those guys just in action, it's amazing to think that Messi now is 21 years a senior pro, and we're still seeing the consistency of an MVP and a Golden Boot winner. It's just absolutely remarkable. He won an MVP, or he'll win an MVP, I should say, this year, no question about it. But if he wasn't here at all, our next guest, I think, would probably be taking it. Anders Dreyer, coming across from Anderlecht to Major League Soccer with expansion side San Diego, has been next level. He's the Bradley Cooper of MLS, and he's joining us right now on This Is MLS. What a joy it is to welcome in Anders Dreyer. It has been such fun watching you in your debut campaign in Major League Soccer. And as we were getting set for this interview, I heard you say something about how life is so good right now. Why is life so good for Anders Dreyer at this moment in time?
Of course, we are first in the West. It's always nice. Life outside of football is top. It's good. Weather is good. So yeah, there's nothing to complain about.
You became a father just over a year ago, right? How has that changed your life?
I think in a positive way. In the beginning, of course, of a football career, I think everything is about football. You come home after a football game, you think about football. And even before football, it's just football. Then I got my son, and I started not to think too much. Of course, I love football, but there is a thing I love a little bit more now than football. And I think for me, that's so nice. It's life, and to see him grow, it's the best thing in the world. The second kid is on his way, and will be in the end of January.
Congrats.
Thank you. A girl, so it will be different. But yeah, it's nice, and I think it makes you think different about like football and life, and I like that.
So you had a son, and then you got the best season of your career, 19 goals and 19 assists. So
I should get more kids.
You have your daughter in January.
Yeah,
30 goals and 30 assists next season.
Yeah, that would be
He's
nice.
scoring everywhere.
It's just like not thinking too much about the performance or stuff like that. It's nice to come home and not think about football all the time. I still love and enjoy to watch football at home. And when he wakes up sometimes at 6 a.m., I'm watching some European football. So for me, that's nice, and to be together with him, and hopefully one day he will also love the game that I love.
I think the best part about having kids during your playing career is that when you lose a game, you come off the pitch, you see your kids,
Yeah.
they're happy to see you no matter what. So they don't
Yeah.
care if you lost 4-0. They don't care if you won 4-0.
No.
It gives you that feeling that there is something more important than just playing football. So I think
Exactly.
that's awesome, and I think you're experiencing that. What do you guys like to do off the field in San Diego?
A lot of different things. Like we've been in Legoland, and there's a zoo, and of course it's nice. And that's me and my wife always spoke about to play in a place where the weather is amazing, and here is so nice that you can just be outside the whole day, and you don't have to think about a big jacket for the little one or for ourselves. We can wear a t-shirt and shorts, and the same with my boy, and so that's just nice. We love to be outside. Can also be in the swimming pool.
Anders, you're just living a life Sacha's lived all his life. This is where he grew up in Cali. This is what he's used to. You're boring him right now. He's like, what? Yeah, what's new? Hey, Anders, let's quickly go to football. Although we've been talking a lot about family. I remember this time. It was a special feeling, Sacha, when you make the playoffs, especially for you guys. You win the West, and now you're in playoffs. Is there a different feel around the training ground? Does it feel like a bit more pressure?
Not yet, but I know like playoff. I haven't tried it here in the US before, but it's always different. Like the first round is best of 3, go straight to penalty if it's a draw. So of course I think there'll be a different way of thinking in terms of if we're in the end of the game, if we want to like go for a win or maybe keep the draw and go for a penalty. But I think it's if you think too much about it, maybe you get more nervous and start to overthink and stuff like that. So it's about staying calm, but of course it's games where it's you can win the highest prize, or you can lose everything like this, and then the season is over. So but I think myself, I know that it's gonna be nice, and I'm looking forward to games like this.
There's 3 Europeans here on this call, and there's yourself, Bradley from London, and I'm from Dublin, Ireland.
Yeah.
And when we come here to the United States, adjusting to the playoffs is actually an adjustment, isn't it? Mentally, as well, knowing that you get to the end of the season, you finish number 1 in the West, but you've got to go again for something more important, nearly. How important is it for you? And I ask you this because we spoke with Robbie Keane, and he talked about the importance of when you come here and you're a big star to just throw yourself into the culture, to the lifestyle, and obviously of Major League Soccer.
No, I think it's important, and I think we are a whole new team, and we are still learning. It's gonna be our first playoff game at home at Snapdragon, and I think that's gonna be as special as the first game for us in the regular season. Hopefully, we can bring that like fun and the way that we play like into that game as well. That we know that we just finished the regular season as number 1, and it's a playoff game, and we want to go as far as possible. But it's important to adjust to a new league, and I think it's good we have people in the dressing room who tried the playoff, so they have the experience, because it's easy to talk about how it's gonna be, but you need to try it before you know it. So I think, of course, the guys with a lot of experience in the league will have to say something to the dressing room, maybe before the game or during the week, about how it can be. And that's so important, I think, and that's nice with this dressing room, that everybody listens to each other, and we can use it.
Anders, I want to ask you about the World Cup. In the last window during qualifying, you scored 2 goals for your country. Denmark, you guys sit tied with Scotland on 10 points. You play Scotland on the final day of World Cup qualifying. Have you already started to think about that game, and then the possibility of qualifying for a World Cup that is here in the country that you live in?
Of course, right now our team in Denmark is very, very strong, and we have the belief that we will go to the World Cup. Of course, we play Belarus, and then we play Scotland. But now, like, I think football is like what where you are right now, and right now it's playoff time here. So hopefully we go to the next round, and then there will be a international break, I think, and then hopefully I qualify for World Cup, and then head back to San Diego to play even more games. But of course it's a big thing, and especially with the World Cup over here, Mexico and Canada, it's a little bit different now that I'm over here and possibly could play a World Cup over here. So it's nice, and of course the game against Scotland gonna be a crazy.
Amazing. All right, I got a question for you about your entire career, Anders. If you could relive any moment from your career, what would it be and why?
If I could relive, I think my time over here. Time goes so fast, and I think if I could go back to that, like after winning the first game with this team in Galaxy, I think that's something like you search for as a footballer to get that adrenaline, and like before kickoff, and just that day before the Galaxy game was just different. You prepared like 6-7 weeks in preseason, and you worked hard, and you want to show yourself in a new league as a new team, and just to see where we were at that point. I think that was a moment where I felt like excited inside my body, just to show everybody what we have done in the preseason. And yeah, so I think that moment, like it was a big moment for me personally, but also for like the whole club, and where we are now, it seems so far ago, but it's still 1 year ago. So to go back to that moment would be nice, to try to live that day again.
And is at the beginning, at that moment, what you're talking about, you know, before the first MLS game, did you have a goal target or an assist target?
Me personally,
Yeah.
no.
You're lying.
didn't.
Be honest.
He's lying. He's lying. What was it?
No, I would love to go to, is it called double digits, both goals and assists. I think that's the kind of player I am. And I want to score goals and want to make assists for my teammates, and so of course I hope to do that here as well in Anderlecht and in Midtjylland where I've been. So yeah, of course you always have a dream, and if I said like before the season that I have 19 goals and 19 assists, that would be very, very good dream. So yeah, it's something like that, the double digits.
Anders, are you aware? Are you aware of the? Sorry, Brad. Go ahead.
Sorry, Kev. I need to ask this because having just heard those figures that Anders is talking about, absolutely wild, amazing season. Do you hate Messi? You've got to hate him.
No, I don't. He's he's a top player, and that's why he's the best there's been in football, and for me as well. Like, I love to watch him playing. Also his time when he was 27, 28 years old, it was different, and compete with him is nice. Yeah, he's I don't hate him.
I think you should be proud of your season, man, because in any other year in MLS, I think you would be the MVP of the league.
There's no argument, Sash.
Right? Like, when Brad and I first played together in 2015, Sebastian Giovinco had 38 combined goals and assists, which is the same that you had this year. And that year, it was clear that he was the MVP. So just congratulations on an amazing season, man.
Thank you.
So fun.
But now I get a second child, then maybe I'll push it a little bit more.
Next season.
Anders, you need a target, all right? And here's the thing right now. Do you know that in the last 20 years of the league, nobody surpassed the 20 assist mark? The 20 assist mark is held by your former Anderlecht buddy there, Sacha Kljestan.
Yeah, I know
and
that.
Maxi Morales. So
He
next
knows.
year you've got a target, pal.
Yeah, I have a target for
I
next year.
told him in San Diego.
Yeah.
I was pushing for you to get it, man.
Please
Yeah.
beat it, Anders. Please.
Hey,
And
Anders,
Sacha don't want to talk about it in the studio.
Yeah.
how aware are the guys back home, you know, the Denmark national team, your old pals in Anderlecht, of how well you're doing? Are they keeping an eye on Apple TV and keeping an eye on what's going on? Because it's not just you. Obviously, Philip Zinkernagel, who you would have battled in many derbies when he's playing for Bruges, he's killing it as well.
Yeah, yeah. They are. It's getting more and more attention, especially now. Also, I went into the national team again after going over here and scored some goals for the national team also. And of course, as an offensive player, that helps you. That people think that okay, something is going on over there in the MLS, and I think like they are watching it more and more, and I get texts on my phone after games and when they wake up, and even some of them are watching it in the night as well. So it's getting more and more attention, and I think like we just spoke about the World Cup also, with the World Cup coming, I think it'll take a bigger step.
Do you care who you get going forward? You've got a wild card game to keep an eye on now. That you're going to get the winner of that wild card game between RSL and Portland. Are you watching that game? Do you care who you get at this point?
Maybe I will watch it. I don't know. I think if you start to think about who you want or who you don't want and stuff like that, and then you get the team you didn't want to, but I think that doesn't like help yourself, help the team. We take whoever wins the wildcard game, and then we, Thursdays in training can start to look how we can damage them in the first game and the second game and go through.
Anders, I think I mentioned it to you when we met at All-Star, but I need to tell you again, because I just think it's one of the coolest stories that the three of us boys went on a trip around Europe in January. We went to the derby. Sacha's off sitting with the president, you know.
Yeah, of course.
We couldn't go 5 yards in Brussels without Sacha, photo, Sacha. And he's off having fun, whereas Brad and I are like, we're nearly scouting at this point. And Brad says to me, and we're back and forth on which, if you pick one player that would translate well and kill it in MLS. And we both picked you in a day that you guys lost 3-0, I believe, in that match. Brad, it was just a special moment now, knowing, like, even for us too, like the validation we feel that we picked Anders, that he's the guy over here now crushing it.
I actually know something about the game, Kev. It was good. You know what I liked, Anders? It was I don't think they gave you the ball as much in that game, but the positions you picked up in pockets, and then you wasn't afraid to run in behind. I've just seen that translate in MLS football, and I just thought he looks like he'd be perfect for the game over here.
No, it's true. I really like, of course, the way we play here as well. It suits me. Like, that's how I see football. We have the ball a lot. I have the ball a lot, and I like to be on the ball and create chances. Be in the final third and shoot on goal or pass it to my teammate. And so the way we play, of course, it was a little bit different compared to Anderlecht. Of course, I tried to be in the same pockets and wide or in behind as well, but didn't get it that much as I wanted to. And now here I get it a lot, and it's nice, and I just enjoy it.
We feel so lucky to have you in the league. Thank you for joining us. Anders Dreyer, guys.
Thank you, Anders.
Thank
Good
you.
luck in the playoffs.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Two things, fellas, stood out from that chat with Anders Dreyer. Again, appreciate the time there, Anders. Number one, he loves the way his team are playing. You can tell. He just absolutely loves the way Mikey Varas is coaching. And secondly, he's back in the national team fold because of his form in Major League Soccer. That hasn't always been the case in our league's history. What a wonderful thing as the World Cup's approaching, that the national team coach is saying, no, I'm keeping an eye on MLS and Anders Dreyer, and he's killing it over there, Brad. And I'm calling him up to that form.
No, it's exactly what the league needs, Kev, because far too long this league has been underrated in terms of players and international call-ups. You know, if a guy's doing well here, it means it doesn't translate in Europe. It's a load of bullshit. Yeah, I don't want to say, it's a load of BS. It's a load of BS.
Said it already. No going back now.
That's the bullshit. But it's a load. It annoys me though, and it's important for the league when players like Anders Dreyer, anyone that plays for their national team, especially in Europe, that they go and do a good job. Because We know what this league is capable of. We know what players we have here. We know what teams we have here. But everyone on the outside doesn't really understand. So when he goes, gets a brace, when his team gets to the World Cup, hopefully he can go and put on a good show. But it's so important for the league. And I love seeing it. Even when players get signed from MLS clubs and they go and play in those teams, I'm rooting for them because I want them to show what we have here.
I agree. And I love it because we see it all over the world now that times are changing, that, you know, for the most part, you know, like when David Beckham came to MLS, they didn't want to call him up for England anymore. But then it's not like the player changes,
It's
right?
David
Like,
Beckham.
it's still the player. And so like now I've seen, you know, a couple of players from the French national team who have gone to Saudi Arabia. They're still called up.
Yeah.
Memphis Depay plays in Brazil now. He's still called up. He's the all-time leading scorer in Dutch and all-time leading assist in Dutch national team history. He's still producing for his national team.
Yeah.
Son Heung-min, he's still the best player
Course.
just because he's
It's
playing
true.
for LAFC and he's
Rodrigo
not playing
de
in the
Paul.
Premier League. Rodrigo de Paul, all these guys still playing for some of the best national teams in the world. So I think we're gaining respect every year with how tough the league is. When the coaches actually come and watch the league, they understand that this is a top league and an entertaining league.
How excited are you guys for the playoffs? I'm giddy with excitement because I just remember the feeling we had in studio, watching the upsets roll in, the drama unfold, eventually head to an MLS Cup that we had no idea we'd get a matchup of LA Galaxy and New York Red Bulls. And at this point in time, I have not got a Scooby-Doo. When people ask me, you know, neighbors that won't follow soccer all that much, hey, who's going to win it this year?
Yeah.
I could give you 5-16.
Yeah.
I might be
It's
wrong.
so difficult. It's so difficult to answer that question, Kev. But that's why this league is amazing. Me and Sash, we talk about it. I know people probably laugh, but it's my favorite league in the world because of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right now, I could tell you a few winners in some other leagues or the teams that are going to be in the running to win the league in other leagues. Here, you just couldn't call it. You're not calling Philly winning the Shield. No. And now we go into the playoffs. Miami have Messi, Busquets, Suarez, and Jordi Alba. If you know nothing about the league, you're going to pick them to win. I'm not that stupid. I wouldn't do that because I see week in, week out how things can be in this league. And that's what the unknown is what makes this league so good. And the playoffs, I can't wait.
Our job would be so much easier if we covered Premier League or Serie A or something, right? Because you know pretty much who's going to finish in the top 5, right? And we did our apologies segment on Saturday, a little tongue in cheek where I'm not apologizing to anybody. I got half of my predictions wrong, as we all do, because it's impossible. You just don't know what you're going to get in a salary cap league with, you know, if your DPs get injured or if they don't hit, like you're just up against it, man. And so it is so tough for us to do these predictions. We've watched these teams play 34 times, and the three of us have watched every single minute of every single goal on MLS 360 for an entire season. I can't tell you who's going to win MLS Cup. After 34 games, I should be able to tell you
everything.
Right. Well, let's have fun. To end the show,
here we go.
I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and then we say who we think at this moment in time is winning MLS Cup. Are we ready, Bradley?
Go on.
Sash, you good?
Okay, don't give him time to think. Let's go.
I've got
I'm an
teams
instant
in my head, and I just
I'm
have
an
to pick
instant guy.
one.
I'm an instant guy. Let's go.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Vancouver.
LAFC. You went into Miami? This guy, bro.
I had 3 teams in my head. You know who the 3 teams?
I know you had Cincy in there. I know you had
No.
Cincy.
Inter Miami, LAFC, Vancouver.
Wow. Vancouver's the second close for me, but LAFC.
I'm going with Vancouver. I think if Ryan Gaul can integrate him back in and you get Brian White back, man, this team
is a strong team, Kev. That's a strong team.
They'll have home field advantage, you would think, right? Like depending on what plays out over in the East.
What I hope plays out in the West is that Vancouver wins their matchup, LAFC wins their matchup, and now it's a 1 game, but it's at BC Place. Thomas Mueller in, because LAFC has been the big brother. They've dominated Vancouver in big games, but I don't know. Vancouver favorite now, I think.
I just think with Son and Bouanga, like they just always have a chance to win any game because it's not the same as Inter Miami. Inter Miami have those threats, but defensively they're not good enough. You can score 3 or 4 against Inter Miami. You won't do that against LAFC.
Yeah.
If they lock in defensively and you have Son and Bouanga, I find it hard to see them being beaten. Like I just find it hard. For me, as soon as Son arrives, I'm like, okay, that's a favorite for me.
All right, you heard it here first, folks. Sash is going into Miami. I'm going Vancouver. Bradley Wright-Phillips has picked LAFC. On
This
that
could
note,
change
we
next
love
week. This could change next week.
Well, we got to go. Cheers for joining us on This is MLS, folks. For Brad, myself, Sash. Did I just say myself, Sash? For
Myself,
Brad,
Sash.
Sash,
He wants
myself,
to be
Kev,
Sash.
and our entire team, our producer, Phelan, we appreciate you.
Kev, be yourself, man.
All the best.